2023 was a great year for movies, so today I'll be sharing with you guys my top 10 best movies of 2023. Hey everybody, my name is Justin here. I try to watch everything that hits theaters and on streaming services. If you guys are like me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and click that bell notification for more up and coming content. I saw a lot of films within 2023. I saw about 190 new releases, and it was hard to get through a list of what were the best films. And I do have some honorable mentions before we get started with my list. Honorable mentions include The Zone of Interest, Dream Scenario, Poor Things, The Color Purple, The Boy and the Heron, Oppenheimer, and Dumb Money. Before I share my top 10 list, make sure to leave yours down below in the comment section. What were your favorite films of 2023? And I have a special guest that I would like to include in this video. Well, here we are again. This is Charlie. This is a new addition to our family. He was born kind of towards the end of December, and he weighed 10 pounds at birth. Our biggest baby, my fourth child, my third son. And I just wanted to introduce him to YouTube. I have done that for my other children as well. I'm very excited to watch movies with him. He's already watched a lot of movies at home now that I'm on winter break from school. So I get to be home with him, and I'll be home with him, it's about mid-January. So get to see him grow up. I'm excited to be with him and go to the movies with him. Hopefully when he's a little older, he can be in some videos with me, since he's been in some videos. So you got to be in some videos when you get a little bit older. But just wanted him to say hi, and there you go. So cute, and I love you. And we'll look back on this video when you were a little bit older. Yeah, he's a really good kid. Doesn't really cry too much. Let's get started with the top 10 best movies of this year. Coming at number 10 is Past Lives. Past Lives is an emotional look at the yearning for a past relationship and connections that one had when they were younger, and trying to live up to that when they are adults. It is told beautifully through a story of a man and a woman who were connected when they were younger and now have drifted apart and are trying to reconnect. It's a very emotional film. There are many times throughout this story that does feel very realistic. It could be relatable to a lot of people as well, but the emotions are very raw. The emotions are so personal and strong within here that I can't help but feel connected to these characters and explore their past lives and what the future does hold for them. Number 9, Air. Matt Damon gives one of the most inspirational speeches I have heard in a movie in some time. The whole story about what it took to get Michael Jordan to sign with Nike without actually having Michael Jordan within the movie, it showed how important and thoughtful this process was. And Air did it in a way that felt very intense at times. Would he sign with Nike or not? And just the way that they structured this movie, the whole scene with Matt Damon's speech is probably one of the best moments of 2023 for me. I was absolutely glued to the screen when Matt Damon was giving that speech, but the whole movie itself, very energetic. I like the process of watching people try to get Michael Jordan to sign with Nike. It's a really good movie directed by Ben Affleck. Number 8, The Ironclaw. This also is a very emotional sports movie that just gets more heartbreaking as it goes along. You do feel the connection that the Von Erich family had, and seeing how they relied on each other. It showed within the family that a lot of the family members have died, and so you do have a very tragic story, but also very inspiring, heartwarming story as well when you look at the family and how connected they are through wrestling. But those deeper moments hit really hard. They're very emotional, especially the end of this movie, but the performances all around are really good. Zac Efron gives one of his best performances ever. It is a gut-punching movie that balances the more heartwarming side of the family and them practicing and the hype around that family, but then also the darker moments that come with the more depressing look at this family and the emotional scenes. It really does shine within this film. Number 7, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. James Gunn rounds out his Guardians trilogy with the most emotional film to date for the Guardians. He took all the characters, these misfits that you have enjoyed since the first film, and gave them storylines that are personal to them, and then also challenged these characters as well. It's funny once again, the soundtrack pops, it's very vibrant and energetic throughout, but also you feel that these characters are so connected and they have formed these relationships over the years, and this is a chance for it to be really tested. The backstory for Rocket Raccoon is tragic, it's emotional, it's very dark at times as well. Easily the best MCU movie that was released in 2023 and one of the best ones in recent memory as well. Coming at number 6, Killers of the Flower Moon. The very long Martin Scorsese film has such a good pace to it that I did not feel like it was almost 3.5 hours long. It had a nice pace of introducing the characters, the highs of the story, the lows of it as well. And it's filled with some of the best performances of this year with Lily Gladstone and Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro. There are so many tense moments throughout that the pacing benefits those development for the characters and the story. There are some haunting moments with Lily Gladstone's character and how she's treated by Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro. Those are horrific moments, but also intense as well. Coming to number 5, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. This is a franchise that manages to up itself every single time. The action is brutal. The action is over the top. It's handled so well that you just believe everything that's going on. And where we were in the very first Mission Impossible film, all the way to now, the action just gets bigger. But the whole story itself, there's a lot of personality to it, a lot of moments that test Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise, and seeing how he reacts to it all. The storyline has really kind of developed throughout the last couple of films. You have some good continuing story and characters throughout, and it all kind of comes to a head within this movie. And I am excited for the next one as well, but this movie, the action was intense. It's funny at times as well. These are likable characters. The story was very urgent as well, and just kind of building off of the previous movies, you felt that connection that you had with the previous characters, and now it's all really working within this movie. Number 4, Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse. And here with the Spiderverse, you get so many different versions of Spider-Man and the importance of Spider-Man's story and all the tragic moments that come with it. It is something that all Spider-Man characters go through, and they have to take that moment and learn to overcome it and be the best version of yourself. The animation still is groundbreaking. Some of the best animated style I have seen. There's so many intense action scenes, a lot of scenes where you have so many little characters throughout. And what they did with introducing the other versions of Spider-Man characters was a lot of fun. Coming in number 3 is The Holdovers. The new Alexander Payne film with Paul Giamatti was very heartwarming. It's your typical story of taking a character that's very grumpy and he's forced to be with another character, and they start to realize things about each other, and then it becomes heartwarming. But it's done in such a way that feels very beautiful and personal, and I just had a big smile on my face through. Paul Giamatti goes from that very grumpy character, and seeing this character, you peel back this character and look at actually who he is and everything that he's kind of gone through, you start to understand him, and then he becomes a character that people like to be around. The performances in here are truly stunning. From Paul Giamatti, Dominic Sessa, and Divine Joy Randolph, all three of them contribute a lot to the story. If it's emotions, if it's humor, if it's uplifting sequences, all three of them together really do work. And I can view this as a holiday film now, and I'm so excited to watch this again next November, December. But The Holdovers, I'm excited to see what it does at the Oscars. This was a big surprise for me. Coming in at number 2 is John Wick Chapter 4. Another franchise that manages to up itself every single time. The action becomes more brutal, it's more intense, it's more in your face, and you just still watch this movie and are amazed on what they can do. And I believe every single sequence within this movie. John Wick Chapter 4 is long, but it is filled to the brim with action scenes that are choreographed so well and are so fun to watch. They still utilize the environment and objects to provide with the action scenes, but Keanu Reeves once again just knocks this role out of the park, as we see like he's just really tested within this movie and how he does not give up. This is a movie that you gotta admire for the direction, the action within it, but the overall story too becomes more in depth when you look at the world set within John Wick and how they expand on that. The rules, challenges that come with it all pays off within this movie. But coming in first place is Barbie. I absolutely love this movie. This was the movie that I felt the most for this year. I have not given a movie an A+ this year. There was no movie that really absolutely moved me and I just absolutely fell in love with. Barbie is an amazing film, but it wasn't that movie that deserved an A+. No movie on this list has an A+. I did not give a movie an A+ this year. I'm still waiting for that A+, hopefully next year. But Barbie is the one film that I've just felt a lot of different emotions. The film that I thought about the most this year, it was one of the most popular movies of 2023. The performances from Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie, I absolutely loved. The songs, I'm Just Ken, and the songs from like Dua Lipa as well, all really contributed a lot to this movie. But it's just not your fun, silly movie about Barbie. There's also a lot of depth to it as well. Looking at your purpose in life and wanting more, that's all explored very nicely from Greta Gerwig within this movie. So it's emotional when you look at the character's purposes and how like Ken should not rely on Barbie and he should become his own person. That was told very nicely. It's very funny. There were jokes in here that I remember vividly in the theaters laughing so hard at, especially when it came to Ryan Gosling. The music is really good as well. I still have listened to a lot of the songs from the Barbie soundtrack. The music accompanies these scenes so well, and they play within the story, which is very smart. But the overall movie itself, it looks so good. The costume designs, the color to it, it's all very vibrant. And it moves in a way that just grows the character of Barbie and Ken in a very personal way. And then they start to be challenged throughout. We see Ken, that transition when he gets to the human world, and it's all about men. Everything about that character shifts in a way that's so important to the story, but also to the character as well. And then watching Barbie and how she wants more out of life and exploring being a human rather just this doll living in Barbie land. It's so cool to see that transition for these characters. And Greta Gerwig already had directed some really great films with Lady Bird and Little Women, but this film, very vibrant, colorful, the music's great, performances are amazing, I love the songs. Just overall, it was that one movie this year that I thought about over and over again. It's the one I watched the most this year. It's the one I felt the most connection to. No, it's not an A+ movie for me, but it's still my favorite film, and I think the best film of 2023. But all these movies were really great and deserving of everybody's attention and are probably on a lot of people's lists as well. And I'm very curious to see how some of these movies do fare with the Oscars next year. So thank you guys once again for a really great year on YouTube. I think this is like my 11th year being on YouTube. I really appreciate everybody's supports through comments, me doing some shorts now as well, just sharing my videos and interacting with me as well. I really do appreciate all of that. So I really do appreciate another great year on YouTube, and I'm really looking forward to 2024 for movies, televisions, whatever it is, and it being here on YouTube with you guys. So there you guys have it, my top 10 best list of 2023. What were your favorite films? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Justin Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.